It was a wild weekend. Now, college football, not as inspiring and dramatic, but pro football, certainly those 1 o'clock games towards the end, and you had a lot of drama. Block kicks. We had punt returns. We had interception returns, fumble returns, a little bit of everything there, and maybe one of the worst beats ever in the history of the NFL with the Eagles coming back to cover against the Rams. It's one of those where, and having been a former gambler, I've already chalked that up. Now I want to see if I could get some action on the 4:35 game. Like, I already know I'm winning this one. Now all of a sudden I'm going, you know what? Maybe I'll put a nickel on this. Yeah, I got some money to play with there. Maybe I put a dime on this. And then all of a sudden, the only way you can lose is if they block the kick and they run it back for a touchdown, which is exactly what they did. That's one of the worst beats in the history of beats. And it's a 300-pound lineman who's going to score the touchdown there. Wow. But the Eagles come back to beat the Rams, Chargers over the Broncos, the Browns over the Packers, and that's one of those where it's 10-0. And I kept thinking, what's going on with the Packers? Like, it's just, Browns defense played well. Packers defense played well. And it was just one of those games where that's where in the survivor pool where you go, yeah, you know what? I'll take the Packers. I can get through this week. I got the Packers this week. And then all of a sudden, okay, it's 10-3. And then, okay, there's an interception. Okay, now it's 10-10. Oh, boy. And then all of a sudden, we have a game-winning field goal. And Green Bay was 300-0, I think, here's the stat. So the Browns scored 13 in the final 3 minutes and 38 seconds. Green Bay had won 300 consecutive games when they were up by at least 10 points in the final 4 minutes of a game. The last time they lost a game like this, before yesterday, the Baltimore Colts in 1967, when Vince Lombardi was the Packers head coach and Don Shula was the Colts head coach. Oh, yeah. Stat of the day brought to you by Panini America. Every team is allowed one of those games. Sometimes you can afford a loss like that. Now, there are other teams where you go, boy, that's going to come back and haunt you when it comes to winning a division, home field advantage, and you start to wonder. And now I think you get a pretty good idea of how good your team is. 3 games in, now I got a pretty good idea. Now, I don't know about the Texans. I'm watching and I'm thinking that defense is one of the top 3 defenses in the NFL. They're 0-3, and C.J. Stroud, pick up a white courtesy phone. They're just like Jacksonville. I still don't know. I mean, I'm watching and I'm going, okay. A lot of drops. Trevor Lawrence, his numbers should have been a whole lot better. I think the Broncos are still going to be okay. That's a good win for the Chargers. The Bears over the Cowboys, I have no idea about either one of those teams. I mean, I know Dallas has a terrible defense and could probably use a pass rusher. When you can't sack a quarterback who was sacked 68 times last year, that seems like that's a problem. And Caleb Williams looked pretty good, had some fun. That defensive, the secondary, they paid some guys. Bland and Diggs got paid, and they got roughed up there. But I don't know how good Dallas is. I think Dallas, and then CeeDee Lamb goes out with an injury. Dak had a couple of interceptions. But the Bears, the Bears deep, and it's not the monsters of the Midway. The Bucks, Baker Mayfield's getting into that, hey, game on the line, ball in his hands. He's almost like where Russell Wilson was 7 or 8 years ago, where it's like, all right, just give me the ball. And he's a closer. It's probably the best compliment I can give him. He's a closer. And he did that yesterday with the Jets. Vikings over the Bengals. This was all about the Vikings defense. They were like, it doesn't matter who's quarterbacking. We're coming after you. And Carson Wentz is fine. It's not that much of a drop-off, but he didn't have to do that much. My Colts over the Titans. Titans are bad. And I kept thinking, they probably could use a better coach. Oh, that's right. They had one with Mike Vrabel. Oh, yeah, they could have had maybe a good running back. Oh, yeah, they did have a good running back in there. A wide receiver. Oh, that's right. He's in Chicago. But the Colts look great. Jonathan Taylor. Is there a better player with less publicity? If I look at the ratio in the last 4 or 5 years with him, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. Seahawks roll. I have Chiefs over the Giants. Chiefs are boring. I mean, they should have been down at halftime. It's just, there's no excitement. I mean, that was a rough game. And Chris Collinsworth, man, does he love himself some Patrick Mahomes. It's like, Chris, come on. Come on. Slow down. Oh, dear. Felt like it was a Hallmark greeting card every time he went back to pass. It was like, he's great, but he wasn't great. It's like, okay, all right. A backwards no-look pass, but then they didn't complete it, but no other quarterback could have, what?
Who else could do that? Throw a crappy pass and then recover.
Oh, man. Seton, got a poll question for us for the first hour of the program?
Yeah, I'm calling this the come back to haunt you game from this weekend.
Ooh. Okay.
What is the come back to haunt you game this weekend? Say the Broncos losing to the Chargers. Couldn't come back to haunt them. Falcons, Panthers.
What the heck happened?
What the heck happened, huh?
I'll give you one of those games a year, but you can't even. And then they let go their longtime kicker, and Koo, and then Romo comes in. They should have had Tony Romo kicking. They might have had better results there. You can't get a field goal, and then you bench Michael Penix Jr. the third.
Oh boy.
Phew. What other?
Let's see. We got the Rams, Eagles.
Yeah. I don't know if that loss, you lose and you had a chance to win. I don't know. Sometimes losses count like 1.5 losses. Yeah. Does that hurt you home field? Do you win your division? Chargers have won all 3 games. They have been against divisional opponents, I believe. So you have. I mean, that's great momentum there. And when you have one of those losses, at the end of the year, is Denver looking at that and going, that they might look at the Colts game because that's the one, they should have won and didn't. That might be the one where you go, hey, that cost us. Yes, Todd.
Can good or very good teams have moral victories? We always focus on the bad teams with a moral victory. Like for the Rams, that's not a moral victory. You say, it was against the Super Bowl champs on their field.
They should have won the game.
When you're up 26-7.
Yes. I think if it would have been reversed and, they were the ones coming back, and then you go, okay, man, we had a pretty good stand against a really good team. I mean, the Eagles weren't anything special until they needed to be, and then Jalen Hurts all of a sudden, looked great and leading them to 3 touchdowns. But to lose like that's one of those that stays with you. It feels like a little bit longer. Who else is on the list, Seton?
On that list, I have Packers, Browns, and Patriots, Steelers.
Oh, boy. Well, if you believe in the Patriots, then that's probably the game that's going to keep you out of the playoffs. And you have the fumbles, and they are, you're scoring, you're moving the ball on the Steelers. That one's tough.
Those are tough.
That's tough.
That's not ideal.
The Packers probably, that won't hurt them. Now, maybe home field advantage. That's whenever I see a loss that it is that bad for a team that's that good, then I always think, okay, are you on the road in the second round of the playoffs? And that's where championships are, won and lost when you think about, did we have home field advantage? Now, the Chiefs have gone wherever they need to go. They can win. But some of these other teams, like this game with the Lions and the Ravens tonight, this might be one of those home field advantage type things.
Patrick Mahomes, he doesn't care where he has to play. He just play him anywhere. He'll just win.
Is that your Chris?
It's not bad,
That's your
actually.
Chris Collins? Or
I mean, who else is going to win on the road like this? I mean, look at this guy.
A very serviceable Chris Collins.
Yes, Paulie.
Going back to the Patriots, 5 turnovers. They're 1-3. They could be 3-0. And the next few weeks, the Patriots have the Panthers, the Saints, the Titans, and the Browns, with the Bills mixed in there, but a bunch of winnable games. They could have been in great position. Now they kind of cooled off.